Hi guys, hi, how's it going? How you doing today? Hopefully today finds you well. Today, as you can see by my bare face, I'm going to be doing a get ready with me. We're going to talk about moving over here, how it's been since I've been over here, and just the whole like house selling, house buying process and what that's been looking like for us. It's been rather stressful and we're still not done. So there's that. We should be done soon though. So I thought I'd bring you along for my journey. And if that sounds like something you're interested in today, please keep on watching. For those of you new here, hi, my name is Donna. I'm a lover of all things high and colorful beauty and self-care. I also work in the beauty industry as a field leader for Ulta Beauty. I get a lot of education in my position. I like to bring you that education here. But ultimately, I'm just out here talking about makeup because I like to talk about makeup. I'm assuming if you're here, you also like to talk about makeup. Today, we're maybe not going to be talking about makeup because I'm going to be using some products that I have just in my Shop My Stash or my project pan. I'll try and remember to link everything below for you just in case. I'm just not going to be talking about the makeup. So I hope that that sounds like still something you're interested in, and if it does, let's just jump into it. All right, I have all of my things here, I hope. Y'all know if you've been around here a while, I don't typically sit and do my makeup. I always stand. That was a problem when I moved into this place because there wasn't really anywhere to stand to do my makeup. So we had to come up with some kind of something. I'm going to use my MAC paint pot and Painterly for my eye primer. I won't be talking about the makeup wholeheartedly as we go through this, but that's what I got going for you. Today I have already put on like my skincare, I'm letting that sink in, and then when I get to my face, we'll put on the primer and whatnot. I typically do my eyes first, so that is what we are doing. So hello, hi. Today is August 12th. As I'm filming, my daughter's 12th birthday was yesterday, and I worked for a good majority of the day, but you know, we've lived so far away from everybody for so long that we don't really do birthday parties, which I know, shitty parent, right? But she also has very few school friends anyways that we've invited to parties and have just not shown up. Very, very long ago, I decided that we were not doing birthday parties anymore because I was tired of inviting, 15 to 20 of their friends and having this giant, like, party themed out and ready to go and nobody showing up. And that's literally how almost every birthday party went. I think her last birthday party she was 6 or 7, I think it was, and we invited 20 friends. I made like this big like pool party luau type situation, like all the theme, right? Theming galore. Nobody showed up. I had to call work friends to come to this party because not one of her friends, even the ones that had RSVP'd that they were coming, showed up. So I just was like, I'm not doing this anymore. My heart breaks for my kid every single time. So that's where we're at. With that said, her birthday was yesterday. We just moved here, so there was no party to be had. Like, nobody but family lives here. We just hung out, after I got off work. We went out to dinner, and we just kind of hung out. It was nice and fun. We went over to my parents' house. Yeah, she spent the night there, so that's where she is. We'll go painting. They have this, like, paint place here called, I can't remember what it's called, Pour Expressions or something like that. It's where, like, do you guys remember those paintings that were hanging in my background behind me? I'll take a picture of them. They're still hanging in my room. I'll put them up here so that you guys can see them. But he painted these at that place, and she wants to go back there and paint again. I feel like I have a lot to say because it's been a while since I've been on here. Also, not a lot to say. I don't know what to say. With that said, what am I doing? We never know. Okay, so we moved, back in June. I was promoted into my position back in May, like the last-ish week of May, and we were told that we had to be moved by the end of June, but that I needed to be over there as soon as possible. So while I went and stayed with my parents a lot and just made sure that I was over there working a lot, like JD, got a lot of the house ready, and, started packing stuff up. I was at home every weekend going through the ropes, trying to get everything packed and moved and all the things. And we ended up finding a house that we really, really loved over here. And we couldn't have sold our house in that short amount of time yet. So here we are in this place where we have a house that we love that is potentially going to get sold right out from underneath us if we don't do something. So my mom, who works in the mortgage field, says we have this awesome program. Your house shouldn't take very long to sell. So says your realtor. Why don't you get involved in it? And I said, that is a fantastic idea. Let's do it. So what the program is that you find a house, you want a house, and you currently are still in the process of selling your house, but it won't take very long to sell your house. You have like 90 days, right? This program is like supposed to be very short term. In the meantime, the company purchases the house for you. You move in, you get settled, and don't have to pay the house payment. What you pay is the rental agreement, I guess. But at the end of that 90-day time frame, you can go into a month-to-month basis, which is not ideal. The rent that you're paying on the house, which is more than your house payment would be, period, goes up. And it goes up by 10% every single month. And over here on the western side of Washington, things are a lot more expensive than they are in the eastern side of Washington. So already I'm just like, oh, okay, this is scary, but my house is going to sell. At the end of this 90 days, which is September 8th, if my house is sold, which hopefully it has, because that's as long as I want this to take. So I owe my down payment on this house, rent for the last 3 months on this house, and a fee for being part of this program. And I'm not slamming the program. I think the program is really, really a good program, should everything turn out the way it's supposed to turn out. We found this house. We fell in love with this house. We moved every weekend for 3 weeks. We were moving while I was also working during the week, traveling over to this side of the mountains, working, and then traveling back home, packing, moving. My parents came over and took a trailer one weekend. We took a trailer one weekend, and then the final weekend we took a giant truck. We were living out of boxes. We're still living out of boxes for the most part. There's only a few areas of our life that are not still in boxes. I don't like this eye look, but whatever. It's fun. And we start moving in. Our house is in a good place. It's got several people coming in and looking at it, and we think good things, right? Then the time just starts ticking by, and I have been spiraling because I'm terrified that at the end of this 90 days, we're not going to have a house that's sold. Our rent is going to go up by 10% every single month. I have done the worst thing by putting my family in this predicament. Like, just spiraling. High functioning anxiety, failing. That's what it is. So that's where we're at. In the meantime, I am traveling over here. I'm working over here, and all the things are going good. And then one of my peers quit. I've got 26 stores. 3 of which are in Alaska. So then I inherit all of her locations as well. Now this was very recent. I very recently inherited all of her locations as well. But at the end of the day, they decide that instead of me, working in the 2 markets that I originally was brought over here to work in, they're going to move me down. I'll have 1 market that's the same, 1 that's new, and they're going to hire for the other market. So like, think of it as like 1 market here, 1 market here, 1 market. So here, here, and here. So instead of working this one and this one, and this one is owned by a peer, I'm going to own this one, and this one will be owned by a peer. which is all fine and dandy. Rewind. I know I'm kind of bouncing all over the place. It's very crazy, my life right now. So we finally get an offer on our house, right? And we're thinking, yes, this is it. This is amazing. Awesome. It came in July, right at the beginning of July. We didn't like the offer, so we countered it. They didn't accept the counter, which was whatever. It stressed me out. I spiraled just a little bit again because I was super excited that we had an offer. And then super let down that they didn't accept our counter, thought that we were in, a place where we were needing to start all over again. 2 days after our counter expired, they sent us another offer, which was the exact offer that we had countered. So I was a little bit, like, what the heck? Like, why did we do this to us? Kind of moment for me, because I just don't understand why you wouldn't just accept the counter in the first place if you're just going to come back and give us the same thing that we had already initially asked for. I'm using this Makeup Forever HD Skin Palette right now. It's one of my favorite things lately, and I feel like because you put literally so little on, it looks so good. So I just put whatever I need to put on and then blend it in and then go over it with a sponge to pick up any excess that I didn't get blended out appropriately, but it's not very much usually. So they send us back the offer, and it is the same offer that we had countered them. It's just their offer instead of our counter. So whatever. I'm like, are we playing games? What's going on? I think they maybe needed to think about it a little bit longer than the 2 days. They're getting what they want. We're getting what I want. Everything's moving forward. We go to inspection, and the inspector, my house over there, you guys saw, it's a craftsman home, right? There's a lot of issues with it. 100% understand that. It's 118 years old. There's going to be some issues with it. There's going to be some imperfections, right? Because it is a craftsman home. It is an old house. The inspector pulls it apart. We had, not finished up some work that we were doing in the basement because we just ran out of time. The inspector notated that the basement wasn't finished. So because the inspector notated the basement wasn't finished, suddenly they wanted the basement to be finished, or at least part of it, like the bathroom, they wanted to be finished. They found some knob and tube, which is common for houses that old, but we had thought that we got it all out, but apparently there was still some live knob and tube in the attic space, so they wanted that fixed, which of course we understand. He said that the CO2 detectors and the smoke alarms were inoperable when ultimately it was about batteries. Like, they just needed batteries. There was a lot of things that he brought up, and they were like, and we had the dry well scoped, and they said that it's a dry well, it's an old system, it will probably have to be replaced at some point in time, but it looks good. So they sent an offer after inspection that said, we want to drop the price of the house $10,000, and we are willing to split the cost of the dry well being replaced and hooked up to sewer in half with you. And I said no. I asked for them to send me the drywall inspection as well as the inspection report. They weren't going to send us the inspection report, but I asked my realtor if I could see what it was the reasons for what they were asking for. And he said, well, I'll have to ask for the report. And I said, well, can you? So he did. And when we got the inspection back from the drywall, like, it was pristine inside. So I said no, like, there's no reason. Like, it might go bad years from now, but right now it works perfectly fine, and there's no reason to replace it. And I will tell you that, we have 6 kids and ourselves, so 8 people in that house, and the drywall looks like it was built yesterday. It's just an anomaly. Nobody knows what a drywall is anymore. And I mean, to the extent that even the sewer system sold all of their contracts, their sewer accounts to the county. And the county started charging us for sewer sometime in this whole mix. And I called them and I'm like, we don't have sewer. We never have had sewer. I don't know why you're charging us for sewer. And she goes, well, why not? And I said, well, because we have a dry well. And she goes, well, what's that? We've never had a problem with it. It's never backed up. Like, literally, there's nothing in it. If I showed you the video, you would be astounded. It goes 7 feet off the house, 7 feet underground, and then 40 feet from there. And that is where all this, and there's nothing down there. There's literally nothing down there. So she didn't understand that. So we had to have it tested. And sure enough, she calls me and she's like, guess what? You're not hooked to sewer. And I'm like, yeah, I know. We're getting refunded for that. But at the same time, like, we're going through this process with the people that are buying the house that want us to pay for half of them hooking it up to sewer. I said no. So ultimately they decide that that's fine. They'll pay for it. But then they also want some things extra to be done. So we say, sure, whatever. Little stupid stuff, trivial stuff. I mean, the biggest thing was the knob and tube, right? The electrical. So then, because of the kind of funding that they're getting for the house, they have to go through a whole nother, like, appraisal system. Through this appraisal system, there is so much more that has to be fixed. The one thing that has to be fixed is the paint on our house. So there's a reason why I didn't paint my house, and that reason is because it's dang expensive. But now, in order to sell it, I have to paint it. I have to scrape off all the paint. I think I got way too much of this. We have to sand it, we have to shade match it, and then we have to repaint the areas of the house that have, like, chipping. And while that might not seem like a lot, it is, because the house is as old as it is. And it's super hot over there, right? So the paint is pretty, I mean, it was pretty new paint when we moved in, but it's now 10 years old. So it is what it is. But they also want the shed to be sanded. The shed. Like, this is an exterior building. It's not a livable space. There's no reason why it should have to be redone. But it does have to be redone. So, and then that was the, the most expensive part of the appraisal portion. So now we're in this place where we're supposed to close on our house in 3 weeks. I've already agreed to, do a bunch of work for them and pay $5,000 in closing costs. And then we get this appraisal back that's like, oh, by the way, you have to do this as well. And my realtor's like, what do you think? And I'm like, I think I have zero choice, because at this point we can't, like, really afford to start all over, right? So we have no choice. So with that said, we're supposed to close September 1st. If I don't close and have the money to close on this house, my rent, which is more than my house payment, just a reminder, on this house over here is $3,500. If I don't close September 8th, my rent goes up by 10%. So I have been going back and forth between spiraling out of control stress and, oh no, you're good. Because I feel like somebody is playing a game with us and I don't like it. I would much rather not be playing this game, to be honest. It just seems like we can't win. But with that said, I am happy to be over here. The kids seem happy also to be over here, which is good. I came with a job. JD had to find a job, but he got a really nice job. He's enjoying. He's off every day by 3:30. He does have to work 5 days a week, which he wasn't doing before. He was only working 4 days a week, but he worked like 4 tens. So he loved that. And now he kind of is mourning his 4-day a week, schedule. I am mourning the sunshine. I remember last year, like, we really used to, go and paddleboard every single year. And It's so cold for the most part. Sweat to death in this room because it's warm in this room, but it's not warm here. It's it's kind of cold. You have like a few hours of the day where it seems like it's warm, but it's literally a few hours. It's nothing to speak of. JD, he's like, the fog today was like sweating. Is that normal? And I'm like, it's called mist. So here he's grown, born and raised over in the eastern side of the state and isn't used to this kind of weather, doesn't understand it. I know what mist is, but it was, it is very strange to go from really super hot to really not hot at all. Like, be a family that's out on the water often to never being able to get on the water because it's just not warm enough. Zayden went to go stay with his friends and then with his dad, so he's been all of maybe 2 weeks in the house. So I think that he likes it, but I'm just not sure. I need to figure out how to get my kids registered for school over here. No idea when school starts. It's been just a crazy thing. I feel kind of like a not amazing parent because I feel like I'm failing at this. I've been so busy with work. Listen, owning 24 stores was bad enough. Owning 36 has been crazy. Really super excited to be around my family. But here's the weird thing though too, oddly. Before we started this process, I'm like, I really want to get back to Seattle, to my people, to my Seattle area, to my people, to my family over there. I feel like we'll feel like less lonely. I'm lonely. Oddly enough, I feel like I'm just as lonely. I mean, I do get to see my dad and my mom quite often. They come over or whatever, but like, I think I've seen my sister probably 3 times in the now, like, what, 2 months that we've been here, almost 3 months that we've been here. And she's super busy, and I am super busy. And I know before I moved here, there was a little bit of, like, hesitation on what it was going to look like because, I mean, ultimately, I moved to the eastern side of the state when I was very young. I was 19. We lived over here for a very short time frame. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. I think what I'm saying is living here has not... What did I just do? I don't know. We're just playing here. Living here has not been the solve to my loneliness like I thought it was going to be. I see my brother on occasion. I see my nieces on occasion. Like, my sister's a very busy person. I'm a very busy person. Everybody's very busy people. I just thought it was, I don't know, I thought I'd feel some sort of way. With that said, I am a lot more busy with work, so it does feel, I mean, even on the days that I'm at home, I have, touch base after touch base after touch base, call after call after call after call. And like, there's no reprieve. With that said, YouTube has kind of fallen by the wayside because I've not really been able to lean in the way I did when my life was much simpler in Eastern Washington. So being over here has kept me very busy. I feel like I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off most days. I am also, pretty stressed out about the whole housing situation. So that doesn't do me any favors. And then, trying to do this and trying to do that has been rough, is what I'm trying to say. So I think that you guys have noticed that some of my videos are coming available very, like, later at night. I used to like upload everything and it was uploaded by 2:15 and there was no like real straggling going on. I was also pre-planned and uploaded for 2 weeks at a time. So as I recorded videos, they would go at the end of that, or I would shuffle things around if it needed to be something that went up first. But these days I am just trying to survive. So like some of my videos, like I'll get done with work, come home, finish editing and get it uploaded, and it'll be like 8 p.m. before it gets uploaded. Basically what I'm trying to say is I'm sorry if you're used to them coming out at a certain time and it's kind of, not, you can't watch them at 8 o'clock at night. Like, I get that. I just wanted to apologize for the inconsistency of it all. I just jabbed that mascara one into my thumb. I guess that's better than jabbing it into my face, but I hate this eye look. But it was fun to play. I'll probably take it off and put something decent on before I do any filming. Any more filming, anyway. So now move forward. I will hopefully be done with 3 districts at the beginning of September and be back down to just 2. I will own everything for the most part from like middle western Washington down to Portland and then Alaska. I've heard, though, that they realign these districts over here every single year, so who knows. I love my new teams. I miss my old teams. My objective these next few weeks is really going to be about getting my kids in school, because Lord knows where we're at in that right now. I don't know where to go. I've reached out to everybody I can think of to reach out to get it handled, but like the school district offices aren't open. Registration for school over there was last week. My son is going into his senior year. We're not sure about what that's going to look like over here. I don't think that lip color goes quite so well. He doesn't want to go to a brand new school his senior year, so I'm gonna try and set him up with online classes, because frankly I don't blame him. This eye look cracks me up. This is what happens when you're bored and just don't know what you're doing. Don't make a plan. This is what your eyes look like. I look like I'm a toddler that got into my mommy's makeup. So what's been going on in your guys' life? Please let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions about what I've shared with you. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that you and yours are well, that you're safe, that you're healthy, that you're getting along as best you can in this crazy life, that you are all loving each other, but loving each other from afar. And until next time, mwah. Bye guys.